Madam Speaker, we have united our country after decades of uncertainty and turmoil. We have given everyone a common identity, a sense of belonging. We are empowering more Fijians than ever before, building a more inclusive society. The panel of judges, the timekeeper, distinguished guests, dear audience, fellow orators, a very good afternoon to you all. The quote given above by the Prime Minister of Fiji, Honorable Voreqe Bainimarama, during his maiden speech in Parliament had inspired me to share my sentiments on this year's Commonwealth Day celebrations on the topic, Parliament, delivering a more prosperous, secure, sustainable, and fair future for young people. While we contemplate the title of this year's Oratory Contest about our beloved Fiji, let's not forget the Commonwealth theme for this year, which is Towards a Common Future. I find these two ideologies having common traits, and that is to have a common secure and an enjoyable future for you and me, regardless of which gender, race, religion, and creed you belong to. The Fiji Islands have traveled a journey full of challenges from 1870 to 1974. Fiji's system of government has changed greatly since 1970, and while the coups have been disruptive and harmful, they have also provided the opportunity to renegotiate the relationship between the people of Fiji and its rulers. The 1990 and 1997 Constitution illustrated the difficulties in having a system which provided fixed quotas for seats in Parliament based on race. And my dear friends, in a multicultural society like Fiji, race should not be used to undermine our democracy. Call it a blessing in disguise, the inaction of Fiji by the British government under William Gladstone's leadership came at a time when Fiji, led by Ratu Seru Thakumbau, the self-proclaimed Tuiviti, was about to take Fiji into a civil war. With other related problems, the British government then controlled and ran Fiji and intervened on Fiji. That was way back in 1874. The British government then controlled and ran Fiji for 96 years. What a long journey that was, don't you think? Didn't they run out of ideas? The answers to those questions, ladies and gentlemen, lies in the country's own complex history of different traditional leadership, governor generals with their own agendas, and to a democratic Fiji, the government of the people, for the people. Ratu Sukuna was a Fijian chief, scholar, soldier, and statesman. He is regarded as the forerunner of the post-independence leadership of Fiji. He did more than anybody to lay the groundwork of self-government by fostering the development of modern institutions. Although he died a dozen years before independence, his vision set the course that Fiji was to follow in the years to come. He raised his concern about racial utterances directed towards Fijians when he said, and I quote, "Let us therefore not forget that there is another community settled here in our midst." I refer to the Indians. They are continuously striving to better themselves. They become producers on our soil. They are continuously striving to better themselves. Although they are a different race, yet we are each a unit in the British Empire. The country progressed towards independence through the 1960s, largely in response to international and British pressure, while internally there were divisions of the appropriate forms of government able to provide democracy. The resulting constitution offered universal suffrage with guarantees for Fijian land rights, and the Fijian chiefs, through the dominance of the Senate, had in effect a veto on constitutional change. The Fijian parliament democracy dates began from then onwards, was able to stand on its own feet and make decisions on its own for the people of Fiji. The parliament replaced the former colonial legislative body, the Legislative Council, which existed in various forms throughout the entire colonial period. A grandfather clause in the 1970 Constitution, which was adopted on independence, provided for the old Legislative Council to be renamed as the House of Representatives and remain in office pending the first elections in 1972. As the British Empire began its process of decolonization and the creation of independent states from former British colonies, there arose a need for an organization of members formerly part of the empire. In 1884, Lord Rosebery, a British politician, described the changing British Empire as a commonwealth of nations. But in 1949, leaders decided to transform it into an organization of free and equal members, and the modern Commonwealth was created. Hundreds of countries with different languages are represented in this community of 52 countries with a common goal for a common future. In 1987, the government was formed by the Alliance Party led by Ratu Sir Kamisesemara, which followed policies of moderate multiracialism. The largest Indo-Fijian party, the National Federation Party, formed the main opposition for most of the period, and calls from Fijians for greater political and property rights increased. Elections in April 1987 resulted in victory for a coalition consisting of the NFP and the Fiji Labour Party led by Dr. Timothy Mbavandra and supported by both ethnic Fijians and the Indo-Fijians trades unions. Mbavandra and ethnic Fijians became Prime Minister, but there were Indo-Fijians majorities in both the House of Representatives and the cabinets. In May 1987, the government was overthrown in a coup led by Lieutenant Colonel Sitiveni Rumbuka, who called for the ethnic Fijians' dominance of all future governments. There was animosity and differences among Itoke regarding leadership. Elected by the people of Fiji, Parliament is the legislative body of the state. Parliament makes laws, represents the community in discussions about issues that affect them, investigates issues of importance to the community, and scrutinizes the actions of the government. Parliament has 50 members who can either belong to a political party or be elected as an independent members. Most members belong to a political party. And here we are, my dear friends. The 2013 Constitution, the now supreme law of the land, has embedded itself into our beautiful Fiji Islands. Under the 2013 Constitution, Fiji's parliament is unicameral. Its 50 members are elected for 4-year terms by party-less proportional representation, with the entire country voting as a single constituency. Gone are those days where common and communal voting system used to be the talk of the people before elections. It is now a new form of voting system where we vote for candidates of our choice to represent us in Parliament. The first election for members of Parliament of Fiji was held on 17 September 2014. In the 2014 elections, for example, the Fiji First Party polled 59.2% of the valid vote, when votes for small parties polling less than the 5% threshold were excluded. This entitled Fiji First to 32 of the 50 seats. These were filled by 32 Fiji First candidates who polled the highest number of votes as individuals. It is at Parliament that our fates rest. The August House and its members introduces bills that will affect us all. A racially motivated bill will be detrimental to our society, and the onus is on them to make laws that will benefit us all. I applaud the Fiji First government for providing the rule of the law that is free from racial discrimination, enacting and amending the Constitution that is inclusive of all Fijians, and most of all, a sustainable future for you and me. To conclude, I leave you with this quote by Her Majesty the Queen, and I quote, "Let us therefore brace ourselves to our duties, and so bear ourselves that, if the British Empire and its Commonwealth will last for 1,000 years, men will still say, this was the finest hour." Thank you very much. God bless Fiji.